There's going to be no excuses from anyone on the planet. When I beat him, I have beaten the greatest pound-for-pound fighter on the planet right now. Your excuses are all finished. There's none. Don't look for them. Don't pick on them. I'll beat the #1 pound-for-pound on the planet. I'll beat a champion of the world. And then we can start the aggressive.
As well, like he's not small well.
No, he's a big dude.
You're like,
there's no excuses, none whatsoever. When I beat Islam Makhachev and I win the world title, there will be no excuses from anyone, anywhere on the planet. End of, done. They all look for something. They all want that claim, oh, you know, it was this, it was that. No, it couldn't have been you. It couldn't have been. That Ian's just better than you.
Nice again. Give me double jab, fake, long body shot. Nice, good. Jab, yeah, that's strong, that. It's a fucking... It's a shame, man. You can't really do that.
I can. It was about trying to land
great grips with that, man. Good, knee buff. Left. That's it, get back.
I have nothing but love and respect as a fighter and a fight fan for Islam Makhachev. I think he's phenomenal, and there is a reason why that man is #1 in the world. If he wants to come up and I have that belt, it would be an absolute honor to share the octagon with him and prove to myself and the world the talents that I have.
The White House card is already dripping with headlines, but this one just flipped the script. Ian Garry isn't waiting for invites or favorable opponents. He's preparing as if Islam Makhachev is already waiting for him on the other side of the octagon, shining bright like a beacon in the night. A smooth, talking striker looking to prove himself against the most stifling presence in the lightweight division. If this fight makes it to the White House card, it won't be a fight, but it'll be a clash of confidence and control.
Man, welterweight, now I start to enjoy my training camp, my cutting weight, fighting week, you know. For me, it's no problem. If somebody wants, let's do it. I tell them I will be ready soon. If White House, of course, I want to be in White House because there may be one and only we will make the fighting in White House. I want to be in history. Now I'm already make good money, which one enough for my family, you know. And now I have everything before. It's also not coming in my dream, you know. Now I just ready, you know. I training every day. Still hungry, still fighting, still want to be champion.
And just when the prospect of fighting Islam Makhachev seemed like the stuff of lofty, ambitious talk, Ian Garry may have just put talk into action. Following his victory, Garry stated that if he were ever to fight Makhachev, he would travel all the way to Georgia to prepare his wrestling skills for the bout. And now he's posted a picture from Heathrow Airport with Tbilisi listed on the departure board behind him. No press release, no signed agreement, but when a fighter talks about preparing in Georgia for Makhachev and then finds himself on a plane to Georgia, it's difficult not to draw the line.
I promise you, I told you at that interview, I'm coming to Georgia. I told all of you, I will come to Georgia because Georgia has phenomenal wrestling, phenomenal judo, phenomenal sambo. And when you are trying to prepare for someone like Islam Makhachev, I'm going to need that. So Georgia, I'm hollering to you guys. I'm going to need your help. So every southpaw wrestler, every guy that thinks he's going to be like Islam Makhachev, we need to find a place. I will see you there. And I will call for your help. I promise you, I told you at that interview, I'm coming to Georgia. I told all of you, I will come to Georgia because Georgia has phenomenal wrestling, phenomenal judo, phenomenal sambo. And when you are trying to prepare for someone like Islam Makhachev, I'm going to need that. So Georgia, I'm hollering to you guys. I'm going to need your help. So every southpaw wrestler, every guy that thinks he's going to be like Islam Makhachev, we need to find a place. I will see you there. And I will call for your help.
And why he is preparing so hard for it is simply because he isn't shrinking from the challenge, he's embracing it. He's labeling Makhachev as the most dangerous fighter in the sport right now, the pound-for-pound standard, a dominant multi-division champion with suffocating grappling and near-flawless control. But this isn't praise for the sake of it, it's a target. In Garry's eyes, beating someone of that stature doesn't just add a win to your record, it completely reshapes your legacy, and he believes he's the man who can make that shift happen.
Islam Makhachev is one of the greatest fighters walking the planet Earth right now. The #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. a two-weight world champion, former Sambo world and European champion. He's absolutely unbelievable at what he does. He is one of the most dangerous men walking the planet right now. When you beat Islam, it changes the way everyone in the world thinks about you, and I'm gonna do it.
However, Chael Sonnen stirred the pot in the Morales versus Garry debate, saying there's nothing wrong with predicting Garry as the next man in line, especially with Islam holding the title. He believes Garry firmly sits on that short list of contenders chasing the champion, but Morales complicated the picture after his statement win over Sean Brady at Madison Square Garden, where he secured a quick finish. Rumors quickly spread that he had been promised the next crack at the belt, allegedly by Dana White, yet Sonnen made it clear there's been no public confirmation, adding that he was there that night and never saw any guarantee handed out.
I like this theme, and there is nothing wrong with making a prediction that Ian Garry is next. There would be nothing wrong with making Ian Garry next. Ian Garry, for sure, is on the short list of #1 contenders, for sure. Somewhere along the way, Morales came into the picture, and it was at Madison Square Garden. He's taking on Sean Brady, catches him, puts him down, gets a quick victory. And it was alleged that he was told that he would be next. Now, I've got to word it that way because that never got confirmed. I was there. I didn't see that happen. Now, and Morales hasn't acted like a guy that's next, right? We've heard from other people, Dana told him he's next, but he never said, Dana told me I'm next. I was at the event. I'm watching Dana. I'm not a lip reader. I'm just sharing for you. I didn't see that.
Sonnen continued, saying the whole debate hinges on one thing. If Morales was actually promised the next shot at Makhachev, then there'd be nothing left to discuss. But he's not convinced that ever happened. Looking at the bigger picture, names like Kamaru Usman and Garry all have strong cases. Sonnen admits he leans toward Usman, especially after his dominant showing against Buckley, which wiped out all the rumors about fading knees and declining durability. Still, he believes this race isn't exclusive. In his view, all three are headed for championship fights.
Very relevant, because if he was told he's next, then we have nothing to talk about. He's going to be next. I don't know that he was told that. And then you got Kamaru Usman. And then you got Ian Garry. And all of these guys have a really good argument. I am on the side of Kamaru Usman. I thought what he did against Buckley was just outstanding. Not to mention in conjunction with all the rumors that we heard about Kamaru Usman, that his knees are gone, he can't run anymore, he can barely work out. Like, all of these things got shoved in our face and shown to be untrue. So I'm on the side of Kamaru Usman, but there's a little bit more to it, which is I do believe that Gary's going to fight for a championship. I believe all three of those guys are going to fight.
Sonnen's breakdown of the contender picture sets the stage, but Michael Bisping jumps in to highlight what he sees as the real blockbuster. Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. Sure, the interim title with Gaethje makes sense on paper, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle slated for the White House lawn, with President Trump in attendance and billions tuning in worldwide. In Bisping's eyes, Gaethje will have to wait because on one side stands Makhachev, 28-1, a two-division force who dominated lightweight and could be argued as the greatest lightweight the sport has ever seen.
And there's no bigger fight right now, in my humble opinion, than Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria.
Yeah, I like this idea. If UFC want, I know a lot of MMA fans want this fight. I'm ready.
I know Justin is the interim and Ilia is the undisputed, and that should happen. It really should. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime occasion. It's going down on the White House lawn. President Trump will be there. The whole world will be tuning in. That's a fact, okay? There's going to be billions of people watching this. They want to put on the biggest fights, okay? So unfortunately, in this situation, Justin Gage is going to have to wait, because on one side, you have Islam Makhachev, a man that is 28-1, okay? A two-weight division champion. dominated lightweight, the greatest lightweight fighter that
Bisping kept building the hype, putting Makhachev and Topuria side by side as a clash unlike anything the sport has seen. Makhachev's resume speaks volumes: 4 title defenses, a dominant lightweight reign, and a flawless run-up to welterweight where he steamrolled Gaethje. On the other side, Topuria mirrored that path, blazing through featherweight, stopping Volkanovski, then moving up to dismantle Oliveira with a crucifix finish and knockout. Both men are 2 division champions at the peak of their powers, making this fight a historical must-watch.
the sport has ever seen. Yes, Conor McGregor was a bigger star. Yes, Khabib Nurmagomedov may be the GOAT, and he's a cultural icon, of course, and what he's done in this sport will never be forgotten. But on paper, Islam Makhachev has defended the belt 4 times more than anybody else, and then he went up to welterweight to take on Jack Della Maddalena and smoked him, walked through him, one-way traffic, made it look kind of easy. Respectfully to Jack, the man is an extremely dominant 2-weight division champion. And then on the other side, you've got Ilia Topuria. Speaking of Conor McGregor, did exactly what Conor did, went straight through the featherweight division, knocked out the champion in Volkanovski and made it look kind of easy, and then again goes up a weight class, takes on Charles Oliveira, takes him down, gets him in a crucifix, and then knocks him spark out, knocks him to the shadow realm. And he also became a 2-weight division champion. Has that ever happened? Have we ever seen two-weight division champions going up against one another in their absolute primes? I don't think we have. Whether it's in their prime or old damaged goods, I don't think we've ever seen 2 weight division champions going up against each other.
And Makhachev himself is clearly thriving at welterweight. He says life in camp, the weight cut, and fight week feels smoother and more enjoyable than ever, giving him the freedom to focus purely on training and performance. He's already secure financially, providing for his family in ways he once only imagined, and that stability has allowed him to shift his focus toward legacy rather than necessity. With the White House event on the horizon, he sees a unique once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to etch his name into history, a chance to do something monumental both inside and outside the octagon, showing the world the full scope of his dominance and discipline.
Man, welterweight, now I start to enjoy my training camp, my cutting weight, fighting week, for me it's no problem. If somebody wants, let's do it. I tell them I will be ready soon. If White House, of course I want to be in White House because there may be one and only we will make the fighting in White House. I want to be in history. Now I'm already make good money, which one enough for my family, and now I have everything before. It's also not coming in my dream, Now I just ready, I training every day, still hungry, still fighting, still want to be champion.
On the other hand, Beneil Dariush breaks it down with brutal clarity. The scales tip heavily depending on the weight class. At lightweight, Topuria has a real shot, no brutal weight cut, a level playing field, and Dariush even leans slightly in his favor. But move up to welterweight and the picture changes entirely. Makhachev's size advantage becomes a game changer, and Topuria is suddenly the smaller man in a heavyweight playground, making the odds tilt sharply toward the champion. In other words, the fight's outcome could hinge as much on the scale as on the octagon.
As far as fighting Islam, I just think there's a big size difference.
Do you think they'll play a big factor?
I think the fight at 155 would have been much better for Ilia. I think at 155, Ilia had a very good shot. At 170, I don't think so. At 55, I would have put it 50-50. If not, if anything, I would have probably favored Ilia because he doesn't have to cut a lot of weight. He's pretty strong for the division. He has massive punching power. He has great jiu-jitsu. He's in a good position. And if the fight goes into round 3, 4, 5, he's going to be the fresher guy because he's not cutting weight. But at 170, it's a massive weight difference, and Islam doesn't have to cut weight. Not too
Yeah,
much weight,
that's-
anyways.
Additionally, Alexander Volkanovski recently looked back on his first encounter with Islam Makhachev, describing it as a vivid demonstration of the lightweight champion's exceptional talent. Even at that stage, Makhachev's skill set was undeniable, and Volkanovski recalls stepping into the cage as a daunting, almost monumental challenge. He emphasizes that every aspect of Makhachev's game, from his grappling precision to his striking control and fight IQ, was already at an elite level, signaling the kind of dominance he would go on to establish in the sport. The bout wasn't just another fight, it was a high-stakes showcase that highlighted why Makhachev has evolved into one of MMA's most formidable forces. Moreover, Jorge Masvidal weighs in on what's at stake if Ilia Topuria decides to move up to 170 to challenge Islam Makhachev. He frames it as a high-risk, high-reward gamble. If Topuria succeeds, he'd make UFC history as the first fighter to hold 3 belts, instantly elevating himself to Mount Rushmore status. Masvidal underscores just how monumental such a feat would be, noting that defeating Makhachev at welterweight would put Topuria in a league of his own, alongside all-time greats like John Jones and GSP, solidifying a level of legacy that few could ever touch. And then we Dana White, who when asked about the White House card, offered a rare peek behind the curtain. While he wouldn't announce any matchups yet, he confirmed that the framework is already in place and the matchmaking process is well underway. According to him, the card was essentially finalized last week and is ready to roll, though he stayed tight-lipped on details like the number of title fights, keeping fans guessing, while hinting that the biggest event in MMA history is shaping up exactly as planned. So who do you think will step up to face Islam Makhachev on the White House card? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates and insider news as this historic fight takes shape.